Hey there, I know you're on a journey from grief to growth, just like I am, and you may be looking for tools to help you live a more soul-aligned life. Well, head over to my Grief to Growth store. It's your one-stop shop for inspiration, for healing, and for transformation. Inside there, you're going to find some free resources to help you get started. You'll find guided meditations to calm your mind and reconnect with your spirit. You'll find signed copies of my book, Gems of Healing. You'll find my brand new Oracle deck to help you tap into daily divine guidance. And there's some powerful mini courses designed to fit in your busy life and move you forward one gentle step at a time. So whether you're deep in grief, seeking spiritual growth, or just ready for a reset, there's something waiting for you right now. Just go to grieftogrowth.com/store, grief2growth.com/store, and start exploring. Close your eyes and imagine. What if the things in life that cause us the greatest pain, the things that bring us grief, are challenges? Challenges designed to help us grow, to ultimately become what we were always meant to be. We feel like we've been buried, but what if, like a seed, we've been planted? And having been planted, we grow to become a mighty tree. Now, open your eyes. Open your eyes to this way of viewing life. Come with me as we explore your true, infinite, eternal nature. This is Grief to Growth, and I am your host, Brian Smith. Hi there, I'm Brian Smith, your host here at Grief to Growth, and welcome to the show. Now, whether this is your first time joining us, you've been walking with me for a while, I'm really grateful that you're here today. This podcast exists to help you navigate the challenges of life, explore your spiritual journey, and uncover a deeper understanding of who we are, why we're here, and where we're going. Today's episode is one I think you're going to be really excited about, especially if you're someone who's ever struggled with stress, anxiety, insomnia, or even just feeling stuck in your body and mind. My guest is Raj Khedun, joining us all the way from London. Raj is a well-being and transformation coach with over 15 years of experience in relationship coaching. He's the inspired force behind Keep Fit Kingdom, which is a powerful movement with the bold mission to help 1 billion people live happily to 100 and become the healthiest version of themselves. Raj is also the creator of the 3-3 Metaverse Breathing Method, a groundbreaking science-based technique that's been called faster and more effective than even the Wim Hof method. Imagine being able to shift from stress and overwhelm into calm and clarity in 60 seconds to 180 seconds, naturally, without medication and without side effects. And that's what Raj says his method offers. And it doesn't stop there. It's shown remarkable success in helping people fall asleep in as little as 30 seconds by gently activating the vagus nerve and releasing a cocktail of endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and even the bliss molecule known as anandamide. In this conversation, we'll explore how breath work can be a bridge to mental clarity, to emotional healing, and even spiritual growth. We'll talk about resilience through martial arts, how to shift your mindset to transform your life, and what Raj believes is the key to unlocking your full, energetic, and human potential. And of course, we're going to take a closer look at the 3-3 method, on its origins, how it works, and how you can start using it today to experience results in just minutes. So stay tuned to hear Raj's inspiring journey, the science behind bliss, and a revolutionary approach to wellness that could change the way you breathe and live forever. And remember, after the episode, I'd love for you to join me so you can join the conversation at grieftogrowth.com/community to talk with me and other like-minded members. So with that, I'd like to welcome Raj to Grief to Growth.
Wow. Thank you, Brian. That was an amazing introduction. Very thorough, very comprehensive. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I made some big promises, so now we have to deliver on them, right?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So, Raj, tell us about your journey. How did you get to where you are? What led you to found Keep Fit Kingdom and dedicate your life to well-being and transformation?
Well, it's a fun and interesting story, and it goes back to my childhood. And by telling this story, I'm hoping to help people remember their dreams that they had as children. Because I think we all come into this world with bright hopes and just feel like, life's going to be great. There's going to be some amazing things we'll accomplish. And then, as you and I know, and probably most people listening, is that you go through the school system and then the government system and this and that, and you realize that, hang on a minute, all those dreams somehow get trained out of you and kind of you lose touch with your ideals, and then you're just like limited by what society's norms say you can do or can't do. So it all started for me when I was 3 years old. My mother takes me to the nursery or kindergarten for the first time when I was 3 in London, where I was born. So we have a look. We enroll in the nursery and we have a look at the playground, the classrooms, talk to the teachers, and then play with the kids and things. And then we end up in the library. And for some strange, inexplicable reason, I pick up 2 books from the bookshelf. One book was about dinosaurs, and one was about planets. Right. And for whatever reason, these images have remained like sharply etched on my memory banks, and they have guided me all the way through my life, even up to now, more so than my conventional education ever did. So the first thing with the dinosaurs was, as a child, I was wondering about evolution. Like, what is it? How does it work? How do you transition from being a crocodile to then becoming a whale and a dolphin and an elephant and becoming more sentient, more intelligent, more able to communicate with a pride or a herd or a family, and looking out for each other more and more as you become more sentient. You have more kind of expression of emotion, right? Like dogs are man's best friends. Why? Because they can sense how you feel, and they respond very intuitively. So as a 3-year-old, I was thinking like, okay, you have all these animals, they evolve, but what allows them to move from a crocodile to, a dog, and then an elephant and monkey, and then a human, looking at the evolutionary pecking order. Then I thought to myself, okay, well, can humans self-evolve then? Will self-effort, what differences can they make in their own brain, in their own mind to change their own lives?
Wow.
Yeah. So those are that was the evolutionary angle. The other angle was the planets. We have all these beautiful planets in the solar system. We have obviously, the sun, moon. We have Saturn. It's got beautiful rings around it. We've got Jupiter, the king of planets, spinning at 47,000 kilometers per hour. Right? How is the biggest planet in the solar system spinning so fast? Right? And it just amazed me to think that, wow, what are all these planets actually doing there? Right? Because I would ask my teachers and they will have no answers for me.
Right.
Right. And then we can go on YouTube now and we can type in Mars. Right. And you'll see NASA robots on Mars exploring the surface of Mars. And if you look, you can see for yourself, you can see the sky is red. The ground is rocky red. But they have not found any water. There's no plants, and there's no dinosaur remains, no bones of any creatures from the past. So why is there an empty planet in the solar system then? Like, how does that make sense? Why is it empty? So then it kind of just got me curious and started to think, how is all this stuff working, and how does it influence humanity, like individual humans? So that was a kind of precursor to how my life evolved to where I am now. If that gives a bit of a contextual backstory, I hope so.
Yeah. So you've always had this curiosity, and I was the same way as a kid. I always wanted to know how things work. I would take things apart. And so I think, as you said, we kind of come in with that, but then what happens when, we don't get the answers that we're looking for? So I guess that's what led you on your quest to go forward from there.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, you know me, I'm Brian, but you may not know I've been part of IANDS, the International Association for Near-Death Studies, for over 8 years. I've attended, I presented, and I've witnessed firsthand how life-changing this community can be. Now, whether or not you've had a near-death experience, IANDS is for anyone who's ever asked the big questions. What happens when we die? Why are we here? What does it mean to live fully now? This year marks 50 years since the birth of near-death studies. To honor that, IANDS has launched the Chrysalis campaign, an effort to grow the organization so that it can continue bringing these powerful messages to the world. If you join IANDS at the supporting level or higher, or donate $100 or more, you'll receive a beautiful limited edition commemorative mug as a thank you. But more importantly, you'll be part of something truly meaningful. Visit IANDS.org, IANDS.org, and click Give to support this vital work. Because the more we understand death, the more deeply we live.
Right. That's right. People are not answering these big questions. And it's the answers are there somewhere, but you're going to have to spend a lot of time looking for them yourself. There was a big turning point for me when I was 18 years old. When I was 18, I was already into health and fitness and stuff like that, as most young guys are. And my mother takes me to India for the first time. And I'm pretty arrogant, if I'm honest. I'm arrogant, I'm obnoxious, I'm from London, I have all the material benefits, don't need to work hard, really, I've got everything. So I go to India thinking, this, India's kind of backward, it's whatever, it's poor, this, that. Mm-hmm. And when I go there, all my preconceptions were completely smashed. Because I meet an avatar. If you're familiar with the concept of an avatar, it's like a divine incarnation coming into flesh.
Okay.
And I meet this avatar, and he completely flips my life upside down. And he says to me, because these avatars are very powerful. They have all these telekinesis powers, telepathy, clairvoyance, everything, right? Everything. And for them, it's normal. It's normal for them. It's nothing for them. And he said to me, telepathically, he said to me, son, he called me son. He addressed me as son. You don't know why you're here. I know why you're here. I'm the one who brought you here. And I'm thinking, and he's intimating, I knew what you were looking at when you were 3 years old, son. Planets, dinosaurs, asking all these questions. I know why you did that. And I was like, oh my God, no, you couldn't know that. Oh yeah, I know everything. You can look him up. His name's Sai Baba. He's on YouTube. You can find him. And I was like, okay, this is it. He said, son, you need to be humble. You need to learn. Yeah. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about like where I've come from, who I am, where am I going, what happens when you die, how was this earth made? I knew nothing. I have to admit. All the school books that ever taught me, thinking I know something from school books.
Right.
Oh dear, this is not it. So there you go. It's a bit.
Yeah, well, and it's funny. There's questions that you rattled off there. Those are the questions I ask at the opening, pretty much of every episode that I have, because I think those are the big questions. And what society tells us is, don't worry about that. Don't worry about where you came from. Don't worry about where you're going to. Don't worry about what your purpose is here. Just fit in, buy, consume, and just be a cog in the wheel. But for some of us, I think it's kind of like Neo in the Matrix. There's something that's just kind of there in the back of our minds going, there's something more, there's something more. So you meet this avatar, and is that what sets you on your thing? Because you eventually started Keep Fit Kingdom. So how did you get to that point?
Yeah. So, when someone, tells you that you know nothing, like in a nice way, in the humblest way, and it just makes you feel so upset. Like, then what have you been doing all this time then? If I know nothing, I'm a living, breathing young man, and you just So then I started being more conscious about health, anatomy, and starting wondering, like, what is this human body? How does it work? Why do some people get sick? Why are some people healthy? Why are some people strong? Why are some people weak? Why do some people have huge amounts of energy and some have none? Like, what creates all these differences? So I started studying the human body more earnestly. So I studied anatomy, I studied biology, I studied genetics, I went really deep into the anatomy and how it keeps changing and why do you have so little control over it? And during that process, I used to go to the gym. I used to push heavy weights with my alpha male friends. We were all out trying to out-compete each other with the bench press or the shoulder press or the squats and stuff like that. I even wrote a book, How Squats Can Change Your Life. It's on Amazon. You can have a look. it caused me to then start thinking and then start writing articles and putting them on a blog, which was
Mm-hmm.
Keep the Kingdom. And then it attracted a lot more people who were into health and fitness, lifestyle, veganism, gymnastics, boxing, martial arts, cardiovascular fitness, marathon running, triathlon, Ironman, all this kind of stuff. But we just kept building it up. We've got now 2,500 articles on there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it just kept building and building. So it's a real life accounts, real life stories of what we have been doing in health and fitness. Yeah.
Okay. I know you have a goal to reach like 1 billion people to help. That's a pretty ambitious goal.
It is. And I think, I said it back then, it was a few years ago, and I didn't exactly know how I was going to do it, but I just believed somehow we could do it. That somehow we could go on that path and make great headway with that mission. And then I find out later, I started studying, I also studied yoga and metaphysics for 25 to 30 years. Then I realized that the hidden essence, the hidden secret is electromagnetism. It's not in the medicine you take from the doctor. It's not from Big Pharma. It's not even from food. Food is good. I mean, if you have a clean diet, it's good. Preferably a bit more plant-based than, red meat-based.
Right.
Drinking plenty of water and hydration is all good. But even better is electromagnetic energy.
Okay.
Which is in the atmosphere all around us. Okay. So that's how we're able to now use neurotechnology through specific breathing techniques to now help more and more people without the side effects.
Yeah. So let's talk about the technique that you developed. Now, when I first spoke with you, I know when your partner reached out to me she mentioned Wim Hof, which I had heard of. And I heard about Wim Hof several years ago, and he's an amazing guy for people that don't know who he is. I think they call him the Iceman or something because this guy swims under, in cold water. And part of his method is cold showers, which I tried it. I can't do it. So when I saw the email and said, you don't have to do cold showers, I was like, I want to at least check this out. So how is your method related to the Wim Hof method, and how is it different?
Okay. So Wim Hof is great. We love Wim Hof, and he's been such a proponent for this connection to energy and source for a long time. However, there's also a lot of people who are not comfortable with the vigorous breathing that his method involves, and they don't like the cold exposure either, like you mentioned. So during the pandemic, I was already experimenting with breathing methods quite intensively. And being a relationships coach for women, I was looking for ways to make it easy for them to do breathing methods to self-regulate in periods of high stress. So when I do these private relationship coaching sessions, they will do the breathing methods with me on the phone or on the Zoom or in person. But then when they're left to their own devices and they come across the stress with the guy again that they're trying to contact, it's not going well, they start going through their old thought process, and they get in a real stress and anxiety ridden state. And they would call me again. I would say, did you do the breathing? And they'll say, oh no, I forgot. It was too complicated. It's not part of my lifestyle. And I'm thinking, none of them do it. Even though I showed it to them and they knew it worked at the time, none of them would do it by themselves.
Yeah.
And we're talking about doctors, lawyers, teachers who I coach, even celebrities. I'm thinking, how can I make it easier for them in a way that they will never forget? So I originated the 3-3 as a simple, easy, gentle method. Get all the benefits of Wim Hof and many other methods without exerting yourself too much.
Yeah.
And you don't need cold showers either. It's very soft, it's gentle. It's like the Rolls Royce of breathing methods because it's soft, it's gentle, but it's powerful. And it's ghost-like in the sense that it's quiet as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I'm curious, how did you come up with the method? How did you develop it? Was it something that you based on something else and you modified it, or how did you get there?
Well, I studied Tibetan Buddhism. Um, Thinking about it now, I'm amazed at all these things I studied for years, protracted. I studied Tibetan Buddhism for 8 years as well, on top of Vedanta, yoga, psychology, anatomy, all these things. And I was doing some very complex breathing methods,
Mm-hmm.
very complicated ones that I would not recommend most people to do because you need to be trained on those. So it came out of my extensive training with more complicated breathing
Okay.
methods.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're able to simplify it to something that the rest of us can do.
It's super simplified because I was not just thinking about women that I'm coaching as clients, but also men, children, of all ages. Why does it have to be restricted to just adults of, between 25 and 55? It could be opened up to a whole vista of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, you know what, let's make it simplified. Let's test it. We tested it with the NHS, the National Health Service, Novartis, a large medical company, Philips Electronics, as well as Oracle, Larry Ellison's company.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So they all love it.
So you mentioned some pretty big, not some pretty big. You mentioned some very big, very large and well-known institutions there. So you taught this method inside those institutions?
Yes.
Okay.
I've talked to several of the staff in these large organizations, as
Okay.
well as therapists, independent psychotherapists who are the PhD level,
Yeah.
who have been training or teaching clients for years. They never came across anything like this. And when they did it, there's lots of testimonials on the website. You can read it for yourself as well. And they're just blown away at how simple and how easy this is. And to alter people's states of mind and emotion and get that self-regulation,
Mm-hmm.
mind and heart together, like what Joe Dispenza talks about.
Yeah.
The Heart Math Institute. It's the same process, but it's easier, it's softer, it's gentler. And for insomnia, it's been helping people as well fall asleep really fast too, between 30 and 90 seconds.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the benefits while we're here. You mentioned insomnia. What are some of the other benefits of it?
Other benefits, stress and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
So stress and anxiety can be reduced by 50 to 60% in 3 minutes or less. ADHD can be reduced within 60 to 90 seconds. And a lot of people have ADHD issues. In America, I think it's 22 million people with it. So it helps a lot with clearing the mental chatter. And insomnia, people who have difficulty sleeping, they might have had insomnia for 5 or 10 or 15 years, taking meds, melatonin, changing their mattress, getting memory foam, having a psychiatric evaluation, having brain tests, all kind of things. And a lot of the time it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they try the breathing method. And because it works on your own physiology and your own brain hormones, it has a very highly leveraged effect in a very compact time frame.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about breathing techniques, and I've done a few, as you and I talked about the first time that we met. Some are pretty, I don't want to say stressful, but you feel like you're hyperventilating. They take 20, 30 minutes, to go through the exercise. And I found that I just don't do them on a regular basis. And I found as a coach myself, if you give somebody a tool, doesn't matter how great the tool is if they don't use it. It's got to be something that we can fit into our lifestyle. It's got to be something that we can do, easily, something that we can remember. So we've talked a lot about, let's talk about what the technique actually is and why is it called the 3-3 method?
Okay. And we can do it as well, Brian,
Sure,
for a minute.
absolutely. Yeah.
So it's called the 3-3. It's very symbolic as well. When you think about the 3-3, hopefully your audience is open to the magical number of 3. Like
Mhm.
three is the magic number.
Mhm.
You have the
Absolutely.
Trinity, you have 1, 2, 3, easy as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, again, 3, 3. So the three is it's basically 3 parts in through the nose and then 3 parts out of the mouth. And you do this in a cyclical rhythm for a minute. And then you start to notice all the cascade of neurochemicals into your bloodstream, and especially how you feel, right? Because a lot of people, they could do endless medical tests and you'll see all the biomarkers come back fine, but they still don't feel good,
Hmm.
right? They still haven't unlocked all of those hormones in a leveraged way to get the maximum effect.
Mm-hmm.
So they chase one thing after the other. They try DMT, they try marijuana, they try, other more extreme things, peyote and ayahuasca and all different things. And people who have tried our method say, hey, this is just like taking DMT
Hmm.
or ayahuasca. I didn't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you had a really good point there. I mean, it's not what we really care about is how we feel, right? We don't care about what our markers are. We don't care even how we get there. What we care about is how do we feel? Do I feel good? Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel relaxed? And I think, a lot of us are, as you said, we've tried many different things. And we have these, and these things kind of, they become related. The stress leads to the insomnia, and the insomnia leads to more stress, and it just becomes a cycle. And and then we go to the doctor, and they give us ever increasing powerful drugs, and then once they give us one that works, well, now we've got side effects.
Yeah, exactly. Now you've got to deal with the side effects.
Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah.
So the method that you advocate, is it something that I do daily, a couple of times a day? What does it look like? How do I incorporate it into my life?
Well, we would always, we love talking to people, and we're coaches as well, so we coach people all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
We like to find out, how's your lifestyle from morning till night? What do you do? How's your activity? What's your stress level? Do you do exercise? And we find out exactly how a person's lifestyle is, and then we normally recommend to start with doing it for 3 minutes to 4 minutes a day. And that doesn't sound like much, but you'll be surprised how uh, there's some people who have no routines for self-care. None,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just smartphone scrolling, Amazon Prime, Netflix, this, that, chill here, chill there. And they're never taking proper time to, have their own self-care routines. So we recommend around at least, 5 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like much, but yeah, 5 minutes a day of the breathing to get yourself in that state.
Yeah, well, you're right. It doesn't sound like much, but for most of us, we don't have a self-care routine outside of our physical bodies. I think about it when I started doing meditation, and it took a while for it to dawn on me. It's like, this is kind of like brushing your teeth.
Mm,
You brush your teeth every day to keep your mouth clean, and to prevent health issues and stuff. But when it comes to our minds, you ask someone to spend 3 minutes a day, and they're like, I don't have time. I don't have time for that.
exactly. Exactly. That's why I think, the education piece of what we're bringing is it comes under the banner of neuroscience,
Yeah.
and people are very inspired when they hear my story, because I want the same for myself. I want for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I've not been sick for 20 years. I've not taken medicine for 20 years or seen a doctor for 20 years.
Wow. Wow.
And people say, how do you do it? How do you do that? Tell me that. I want to know.
Yeah.
And so I say, look, it's all about boosting your electromagnetic field, right? And you keep growing it. When you're negative, it shrinks. When you're positive, it expands.
Hmm.
It's science. It's pure metaphysical science.
Yeah. Well, we hear a lot about that sometimes for people who are into auras and energy. And you mentioned heart math earlier. And we talk heart math, I think they say, are like the electrical field goes out like 30 feet or so. And our auras can go out, even more. But we don't know how to do that, right? No one tells us, how do I do that? How do I expand my field? How do I tap into this thing? And so it sounds to me like you've come up with a way that's pretty simple, that's, doesn't require special equipment. There's no side effects, and I can do it in a few minutes a day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of, for people to find out, how do I access this? How do they find out, how do I start doing this? Is there an app, or is it a website, or what is it?
So there's a nice simple program online that you can buy, and it teaches you how to do it, how it works, why it works, the science behind it, and that succinct education piece is vital. We've distilled it down. We could say, oh, must read 400 pages of this complex book, but people just want the benefit and they don't care about the science necessarily. So we boiled it all down into a very compact program online, which you can purchase, and it teaches you how to do the whole thing, and you get the benefit. And of course, you can reach out to us there on messages, WhatsApp, email, social media. You can read all the testimonials, and lots of video testimonials as well. And the interesting thing, when you introduce this, then they're like, okay, I bought your introductory program. That's great. It's like $97 or something. But then how do I want to work with you to implement this into all aspects of my life? Because I feel amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Can it affect my relationships? Can it affect my work? Can it affect my flow state with my colleagues, so I can feel better at work? I actually look forward to going to work because I feel great. Will it help me with my wife, and my children at home, to bring more harmony to the house?
Mm-hmm.
Will it help me, boost my immune system or my nervous system, so I don't have to depend on meds anymore so much?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Yes, absolutely. So
people can buy the program, and you said somewhere around $100, $97, and then people can also work with you.
For now. For now.
Yeah.
Probably go off in a while, but yeah, for now. Yeah.
As of the time we're recording this, and this is Monday, June 23rd, 2025, because this podcast might be out there for a while. So you'll have to check and see what the price is at the time that you're listening. But so people also work with you beyond the program, it sounds like. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I want more personalized one-to-one coaching. But we have a team who coach people with more in-depth issues they want to kind of improve, whether it's relationship conflicts, whether it's other deeper health issues, overcoming the need for endless medications. We're not saying it's a complete replacement. For me, yes, it is, because I've been doing this for a long time. But for people who want to get on that journey to self, transformation and true joy and happiness, as well as all the benefits that come with that, then they'll book sessions. They can do 4 sessions, 6 sessions, and so on. And depending on what their problems are, we'll address those in a sort of more personalized level. So
when it comes to this, how important is someone's mindset coming into this as to how effective it is?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey there. You know I'm a grief guide and author, but you may not know I'm a proud member of IANDS, the International Association for Near-Death Studies. I've been a part of IANDS for over 8 years, and I've even had the honor of presenting at some of their events. Now, whether you've had an NDE or simply curious about life after death, IANDS can open your heart and your mind. Join us August 27th through 31st, just outside of Chicago, at the Hilton Oak Brook Hills for the IANDS annual conference. It's a powerful 4-day gathering of nearly 1,000 people exploring consciousness, healing, and the continuation of life. You're going to hear from world-renowned speakers like Raymond Moody, Bruce Grayson, Diane Hennessy Powell, Mark Anthony, and Carolyn Mace. And don't miss our healing center with Reiki, massage, mediumship, and spiritual counseling. Visit conference.iands.org to register. Come, be informed, be inspired, and be among those who know we are more than our bodies and love never dies.
I would say if you have no self-care routines, okay, and you have never tried yoga, never tried breathing, just go step by step according to what we instruct on the course. If you feel that you're already feeling the benefits, and pretty much everybody does, 95% of people who do this, apart from those who have extreme hyperventilation issues and panic disorders, apart from those, everyone else gets tremendous benefit from the first few attempts of doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, it sounds like, great. It sounds like something that people would want to, at least check out. So we've talked about a little bit, we've kind of covered, but side effects is in you mentioned, people that have hyperventilation issues. So it would be indicated for them. Anybody else, or does it pretty much work for, or something anybody else could try?
Well, we have to say for people who just buy it online, and if you're having severe breathing issues or severe breathing difficulties, then we would recommend speaking to a doctor first before you embark on anything like this. But for most people, it is completely safe, and there are no side effect issues. We can try it as well now on the pod here if you want, Brian.
Yeah, we could do that. One more question before we get into that, because I know we talked about this impacting the vagus nerve, and I think a lot of us have heard that term, the vagus nerve. And by the way, it's not VEGAS, it's VAGUS. Explain to people what the vagus nerve is and why it's so important.
Yeah, that's a great question. So as we mentioned, actually, it's good to kind of cover this again if I haven't done so. When we do this 3-3 breathing method, you release this cascade of neurochemicals that we talked about. So that's endorphins, which are pain-relieving hormones, serotonin, dopamine, which are feel-good, happy hormones, like you mentioned at the top of the podcast. It also activates the vagus nerve, which is a very important part of the parasympathetic nervous system. For rest, digest, healing, deep sleep, recovery from trauma, recovery from abuse, recovery from surgery, injury, that kind of thing. If you're always on the opposite side, which is the sympathetic nervous system, you're always in freeze, fight, flight, go, 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 cortisol, fear, adrenaline, right? You never have a chance to relax and absorb and digest your experiences. So that's why you always feel like you're never going to complete anything. You're never going to finish anything because you're always running.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no chance to digest your experiences. So you feel like you're out of control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the school system has, unfortunately, for whatever reason, you can probably hazard a guess at why, but the school system does not teach you yoga. They do not teach you how to have a self-care routine to dial back into the parasympathetic nervous system and how important that is for you. So inflammation processes, they start in the sympathetic nervous system and they compound. If you don't do something about it, you're going to be on meds for the rest of your life. You're probably going to die, not knowing the other side of life, and everybody else around you is probably in the same kind of boat,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think at least in our society here in the U.S., it's kind of like we don't feel like we have any alternative. This is just the way it is. It's just, as you said, it's go, go, go. And we're really not taught self-care. And there's been some talk about doing stuff like that in school, but we're so busy trying to make people productive. We feel like we don't have time to teach them how to live. And it's also really interesting because when I started doing things like yoga and meditation and mindfulness and stuff, there's a religious stigma that can be attached to that. Certain religions say, well, that's a religious thing, so you need to stay away from that. And I want to make it very clear that this is not a religious thing. This is a, as you said, this is a science. This is taking care of our bodies in a way that they're designed to be taken care of.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of, I had to overcome a lot of my own ignorance because I thought, religious, when you hear the word religious, a lot of people have a tight sensation in their stomach or their chest and they just want to run away, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it carefully, if you look at the etymology, right? Take your feeling away from it and just study the etymology. Religion actually means to yoke or to connect.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad word.
Right. Right.
Right? Yoga is the same thing. It means to join, to connect to your source. What's wrong with connecting to your source?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I have a friend, a good friend who's he's Hindu, and when I started, doing all this studying about spirituality and stuff, we start talking. I'm like, there's so much wisdom, that these guys had like 10,000 years ago that modern science is starting to finally, kind of catch up with. So when we see religion the way it's been practiced around the world, unfortunately tearing people apart. That's really not what a religion's about. And most of them have this thing at the core that's core of truth. And I see it in Hinduism, I see it in Buddhism, I see it in other religions, and I see it even in Christianity once we get rid of all the junk that a lot of us think that Christianity is. And as you said, it's that connecting to our source, is that basically coming back, to where we came from and all the questions we talked about, who we are, why we're here, where we're going, what happens when we die. To me, those are the only questions worth answering.
absolutely. I think it's interesting how many words from Vedanta, from the yogic traditions, are fully filtrated through the world now in a very soft and imperceptible way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like for example, James Cameron came out with a film Avatar. Right, at the time, it was the biggest grossing film ever. 1.2 billion at that time. And if you look at the word again, Avatar, etymologically coming from Sanskrit, means incarnation of a special quality or character into form.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So there's words like Avatar, Nirvana, which was a great grunge band from your country, right? Nirvana, right? Who didn't love Nirvana? And the idea is, again, it's a Sanskrit word for liberation.
Mm-hmm.
Buddha, Buddhi, Guru, Yoga, all Sanskrit words are concepts which are cosmological in nature. They're not rooted in human beings. They're in the cosmos.
Right.
That's why these words are never going away anytime soon. They're only going to get more and more deeply embedded into society because we need those concepts to understand what we're doing.
Yeah, very much so. Well, let's go ahead and do a short demonstration, and let's go ahead and do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do a quick check of the nostril flow first. So we block one nostril and breathe in and out a few times. And block the other one.
All right.
And would you say the ratio is 50-50 or is one more open than the other roughly?
About the same. Yeah.
About the same. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And Brian, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say you feel now? 1 being terrible and 10 being amazing.
No, I'm about an 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So this method is very simple, very gentle, very soft. Okay. So you just have your chin more or less perpendicular to the ground. Nothing crazy. Yeah, nothing crazy, but just more or less straight, relaxed back.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulders back a little bit, just to be nice and straight. And you're going to breathe in 3 parts through the nose. And I'm not sure if the Zoom is going to have the noise cancellation, but I'll make the sound verbally as well, just to make sure.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to mute my mic so I'm not blowing people out. So
okay. So it's basically like this. So snip, 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 and ha 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 without the vocals. Snip, snip, snip. Ha ha ha. And the third ha is elongated. It comes from the back of the throat. So ha ha ha. Or snip, snip, snip through the nose, and then ha 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 in the back of the throat. You need to open the mouth a little bit more, Brian, a little bit more, just so you activate the vagus nerve. Yeah, did you feel it? Did you get into a rhythm there? Perfect. All right. So let's do it for a minute together. Do unmute the mic. It would be okay for now. So if you could. Brilliant. We'll go for a minute on the count of 3. And then I'll ask you some questions. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Stop there. Just relax. Keep your eyes closed, Brian. Just relax. Just gently feel and observe what's happening within. Just relax. Now, keeping your eyes closed, Brian, tell me what you notice and how you feel.
Feel like my chest feels relaxed, like a slight buzzing in my head, not unpleasant, not like I'm hyperventilating, but it just feels really pleasant actually. And I meditate a couple times a day, about 20 minutes at a time. It feels kind of like I do when I'm coming out of my meditation. I go in and I feel pretty much the way I did before, you and I started talking. And then when I finish my meditation, you just feel like you have like when you just wake up and there's like really not a lot of stress on you.
Mm.
So yeah, it feels. I mean, it's pretty amazing for just a little 1 minute thing.
Did you find any sort of parts of the brain feel like any gentle sensations at the prefrontal cortex or anywhere else between the eyebrows, or any gentle?
Yeah,
pressure?
it's like in the not the forehead, behind the forehead, I guess, whatever that area is called. Yeah, it feels. Yeah, it feels
Pineal gland.
activated. Yeah, I guess might be the word I'd use.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pineal gland. Okay. And did you notice your heart rate slow down a bit?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And did you notice the sort of mental chatter we call the monkey mind? Did you find that slow down or decrease a bit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of funny to think about like when I come out of meditation, and I walk back out into the world, my people around me and stuff. It's like you don't really feel like talking as much, just because it's like you just want to be in that moment, right? So then you got to get back into the flow of the monkey mind, as you said, and just but you can just kind of set that aside for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And do you feel an expansion of mind, Brian, beyond the body? Like you're not just limited to the flesh and bone, but there's something bigger, like a bigger awareness. Do you feel something like that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and that's something I've been working on consciously, anyway. But yeah, I definitely feel that kind of expansion. We talked about getting that energy level expanded. So yes.
Okay. And you said you felt an 8 out of 10 earlier. What would you say you feel now?
10. I feel 10. I feel great.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it feels really good. Yeah.
And considering, I know this is a little bit different than what you said you'd done before, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised are you how quickly this worked?
Well, I did this with you once before, so everybody knows that, we did this exact same thing. And
Yeah.
as I mentioned earlier, I've done some other breathing techniques. I've got an audio that I listen to every once in a while. It's like a 20-minute thing.
Mhm.
And this feels very similar to I feel after the end of that 20-minute exercise that I do.
Mhm. And do you feel like you're in flow state?
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm. Good. And last question, do you sense how this can help people fall asleep? People who have sleeping issues or insomnia, do you notice how easy it could be to drift off to?
I do, because what I realized is this was a couple of years ago. I started when I get in bed and when I have trouble falling asleep, I would just start meditating like I do during the day.
Mm.
And that really helps me to fall asleep. But for people who aren't, experienced meditators, I think this might be something you could do just as right before you get in bed or as you get into bed
Mm.
that will get you into that, that state of mind.
Mm. Absolutely. Excellent. Okay. You can open
Yeah.
your eyes.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to come back to doing the interview. But yeah, that was I guess that we've done it once before, and it's something I think I'm going to incorporate into my because I do have daily practices. I do my gratitude thing. I do my exercise. I meditate twice a day. But shoot, why not do this? 5 minutes a day, twice a day. So, yeah, we're coming to the end of our time. So, what I'd like to do is let people know. We talked about what this is, what the method is, and how people can, get that. Let's talk about where they can go to find it and to find out more about it.
Sure. So the best place is to go to keepfitkingdom.com. Keepfitkingdom.com. When they visit there, they'll not only see thousands of articles on various aspects of health and fitness, um, recipes even for health and fitness, yoga, all those kind of things. There's also be a tab called the 3-3 products where you can click and you can find out more about this method and how you can read, testimonials. You can message us with any questions. On WhatsApp, it's all connected to WhatsApp as well, so you can message us easily that way, email, and you can buy the product. They can buy the program there. It's just $97 at the moment at this point, but it's a very compact program. It will help you to understand how it all works, and that just sense of how they can really feel different and really live on that more empowered side of life without the friction, without the static, without the negation or negative emotional energy, which causes so much stress. And once you get a taste of that, if you have any other questions, you want us to help you implement it in other ways to impact more areas of your life, whether it's relationships, you go deeper into a health issue, or whatever it happens to be, we can help integrate it.
Awesome. Well, Raj, it was great to see you again and introduce people to the method and to your work. And hopefully, I hope you reach your goal of helping 1 billion people. I think that would be awesome. I'm always looking for simple and effective tools because they have to be both. If the tool is not simple, people are not going to do it. So when you guys reached out to me, I was like really excited because again, I know some other breathing techniques that people just aren't going to do, and this is something that people can do and you can keep up and turn into a practice. So there'll be a link in the show notes, but it's keepfitkingdom.com. You guys go check it out.
Awesome.
All right, it's good to see you. Have a good
All right.
afternoon, or it's evening for
you
you.
too.
All right, bye.
Evening, yes, indeed. I'm sure we'll connect again. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey there, if you liked this episode, come on over and talk about it. Let me know what you liked. If you didn't like this episode, come on over and talk about it. Let me know what you didn't like. Go to grieftogrowth.com/community and look for Talk About the Podcast. I'll see you there.